welcome to episode number 2 of Brockport Made. My name is Alex Henderson, and I am your host. Joining me on today's show, we have Coach Stephen Pike of the Brockport women's volleyball team, head coach. Coach, thanks for coming on the show today.
It's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So I just kind of wanted to start off a little bit. So I just want to go over some achievements. A couple of weeks ago, you were named as the SUNYAC coach of the all-decade coach of the SUNYAC all-decade coach. And some of these achievements, I'm looking over these, and SUNYAC championship winner from 2015, 16, 17, and 2019. That is the most by SUNYAC coach in the previous decade. You've been undefeated in SUNYAC play 3 years in a row from, correct me if I'm wrong, 2015, 16, and 17, correct?
That's correct.
3 SUNYAC Coach of the Year honors. Overall, 164 and 70 record with 46 and 17 record in SUNYAC play. And along with that, you've been selected to help coach at the United States Women's National Team tryouts on multiple occasions this decade. So I'm just gonna kind of go right from the beginning. What was the like being named Coach of the Decade, and what was your reaction to that?
Excited for our program, because we know that being involved in athletics, this is really about the program of the decade. It's not about any one person. It's really about all of the student athletes that have competed, have trained, all the assistant coaches, athletic trainers, strength and conditioning, all of our staff that's worked so hard. Like, this award is a recognition of all of their hard work and all of the time that we've spent in the gym and outside, just working on our craft. So really excited for them, for all those people involved in our program to be proud of this and to just enjoy it and get to celebrate it. So that was my initial reaction, like all of their work and time and effort and sacrifice. That's pretty cool for them to get recognized, because I don't think anybody would have seen that maybe coming early on in the decade.
Yeah, no, and I know your team puts in just as much work as you do, so it's a great honor to be compiled with all that. So let's go back to the beginning. How did you get involved in the sport of volleyball to begin with?
Yeah, really fortunate. Junior high, we had a PE teacher retired after 30 some years, and we had a new PE teacher hired at my school, and he had played volleyball. And so he was like, "Hey, I'm going to start a boys volleyball team." And we're like, "Okay, what's that?" It's volleyball. Like, I didn't even know guys played. And so he started a team and a program, and that was awesome for me and for so many other guys to get an experience and opportunity to play, and had no idea that it would be here today because of that start.
So you said you played in high school, but then after that, college, did you play in college too?
In college, I played for the men's club team and started kind of helping coach when I was in college. So yeah, it was a process, because at that time there were not near as many men's collegiate programs as there are now. Men's college volleyball has grown very quickly over the past 10 years, which is awesome.
Okay, and that was SUNY Potsdam, correct?
Yeah, SUNY Potsdam.
Okay, so the alma mater. So when you were playing and you had all these club meets and stuff, what was your pregame ritual as a player? What would you do?
Whoa, that's a good question. I don't know if I had one ritual. Maybe that's my problem. I would have been better if I had had one ritual, but I'm not a very superstitious kind of, like, I have to have this or do this the same every time. So it was pretty much just get ready to go, get warmed up, get your body right, and get going. Yeah, I didn't really even think about rituals or routines at that point in my career. I didn't know.
Yeah, and now as a coach, do you have something else, or is it kind of the same thing where it's just kind of do what you gotta do to get ready and go, or have you developed a ritual over the years?
Yeah, I think more of a routine now for myself and for our staff is just as far as breakdown of the match, get that going, let our athletes get in the locker room and get some music going and get hyped down there, and then meet up in the classroom and go over one more time a couple quick clips of our opponent and what our game plan is for the day, and then let's go get it done and see how we do.
So you said you got into coaching a little bit when you were in college with the club team, but how exactly did you get started in it? What was kind of the first introductory to coaching volleyball?
Yeah, my first official coaching position was I was student teaching, and my sponsor teacher uh, was like, "You play volleyball?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Great, I need a JV coach. You're the JV coach this year." I'm like, "Okay, here we go." So Oneida High School JV program was my first official paid coaching gig back in 1997, 98, and it was a great experience.
So yeah, nice. So when you were talking about your rituals and you said now you listen to your music, what is your favorite kind of music or favorite band to listen to? Not just for volleyball, but just in general. We just kind of go all over the place with these questions. So what kind of music do you like to listen to?
I love it. Now more of Mercy Me, Matthew West, and some Christian rock groups in that area. Right now is kind of what gets me in a good place to be ready to compete and coach our athletes.
Okay. And so you said you went to Potsdam and you started coaching officially at Oneida High School, but why did you come to Brockport? What got you here and why are you here now?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Lots of things, really. Personally, it brought me to a location where it was closer to family, growing up in the Finger Lakes, Watkins Glen area. Also, personally, it just brought us to an area where there was more volleyball for our kids. We are fortunate to have two boys and a daughter, and so them to have experience of playing boys volleyball, because that didn't exist in Potsdam where we were at the time. And professionally, just to be at Brockport, where there's been so much success in the past, so many great majors and a great location. We were like, it seems like a great fit. So after a long time and leaving my alma mater, it was a challenging and tough choice, but it's worked out really well.
So when you came to Brockport, you started coaching. What would you say is your style of coaching, and has it changed over the years?
Always growing and learning, and I think that's part of my style and philosophy, is that I think it's teaching people first and then volleyball second, and continuing to get better at both those areas and grow and learn each day. And I learn as much from our student athletes and our other staff as hopefully maybe they can from me. So that's kind of my style. Love to prepare for practice and get after it and that side of things. And if we do that well, then matches will go our way more often than not.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like good coach philosophy. So growing up, though, who was your biggest role model? Who was somebody that you looked up to, not just in volleyball, but just in general?
Yeah, I was. This is maybe too much, but I was all over the place as growing up. It depended on what sport I was playing at the time. If it was basketball or baseball or volleyball, and I would be all over the place as far as who I was looking up to, whether it was Dr. J, or whether at that time it might have been Wade Boggs and I was going to play for the Sox, or at that time it was Karch Karai playing some volleyball. So those were sports, definitely role models for sure.
So yeah, and then with as we mentioned a little bit about, you started coaching or helping out with USA Women's National Team tryouts. How did you get involved with that? How are you from Brockport now helping out with the United States national team?
No idea. Honestly, really fortunate. Basically, it's like anything else. It's a bunch of little decisions. So, regional high performance for USA Volleyball was looking for a facility, and they asked anybody to put in bids, and I put in a bid for the university I was at Potsdam, and then started helping out the regional program, and then they're like, when I started helping out with regional youth, and then continued to work my way through the program and just get more experience and more opportunities, and then got invited to be a volunteer coach at the national team tryout for the last 2 or 3 years. So yeah, I get to pinch myself every time that I get to be in that gym and just kind of be around that level of coaches and athletes and be on the Olympic Training Center. That's been amazing to be there. But yeah, it's just one little decision after the next, and somehow I got there, and no work of my own, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean it's pretty interesting that how you start off small and then you get to help out coach at such a big level. So what is one thing that you say you couldn't live without?
Ooh, good question. If it's food, it's got to be buffalo chicken pizza. That's a definite go-to. If it's just life in general, it's got to be my hairbrush. Like I can't go out without looking good. So I got to get that taken care of.
Of course.
We got to be smooth and shiny up top.
Oh yeah. No, understandable. So what is one thing that you enjoy to do? What was your favorite thing to do after a team win?
Ooh, instantly is probably a good fist bump, maybe even maybe a jump. I don't have the hops that I used to, but that's probably the first initial reaction. Love getting back in the classroom afterwards and celebrating with our team and just enjoying that and kind of seeing their faces. And then after that, it's definitely getting some video, either of our match if we don't know our next opponent, or if we know our next opponent, starting to look at that match that night. I love breaking down video and just kind of seeing either us or our next opponent. It's a vicious cycle, but I enjoy it.
And it never stops working. I mean, without all that dedication, I mean, how else could you get SUNYAC Coach of the Decade? So, last final question here. How has Brockport made you?
Oh man, lots of ways. Surrounding me with great student athletes and coaches. That's how it's made me a better coach, a better person. Just being in this area, there's lots of high level volleyball. So, and then being on campus, there's just so many people that have impacted me relationship wise, from other professors to staff. So in so many little ways every day that I just love Brockports here for our students, specifically our athletic department for our student athletes. And it's helped me understand the importance and the impact we can have.
So yeah, that's all the questions I have for you today. Appreciate you for coming on here and talking with us and just kind of giving a little bit of insight of who you are.
Yeah, I love it. I love the chance to get to talk about Brockport, our women's volleyball program, and we're excited about getting one day closer to competing, whatever that looks like next.
Yeah. And then is there any closing things that you want to say or want to throw out there?
We are excited to see the Golden Eagles and any team compete here this spring. We're ready for that to happen, and we're going to do whatever we can to help make that happen in a safe way and keep everybody healthy. So, yeah, it's an interesting time, but one we won't forget. I'm sure, Alex. We won't forget this year.
No, it's definitely been a year. So hopefully we can get those spring athletes back out there and get the season going and get a little back to normal life as the way we knew it. So hopefully just got to protect the nest, wear those masks, and be safe, social distance, do all that safety protocols. So hopefully we can do that and get back to playing some sports.
Yeah, I think there's some entertaining PSAs out there about that. I'm not sure. I've heard there was a couple, so we'll see.
We'll see. We got some posing in, but we'll hopefully get to it. So, well, hey, thanks for coming on, and hopefully good luck next season. Hopefully we'll have one, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. You too.
No problem.